Welcome, BU Twofold people, to the Self Mastery 360 course motto presentation. Our course motto is very important to understand because what it's going to help you do is learn how to grow your gratitude. And it's going to help you learn how to set your mental and emotional frequency or vibration at a high level. Why? So you can conquer any lower level emotional or mental vibrational frequencies that come your way. All right. With that being said, let's get into it. So as I begin this presentation, I'm going to start by speaking about God's willpower, which is called his omnipotence. And if you break down this word, the prefix of the word omni means one, and the suffix or the end of the word potence or potent means power. And together, this word omnipotence means one power or all powerful. Now, this is important to know and understand because there is only one power that is the power behind all of existence. And that power is God's willpower, his omnipotence. This high level teaching is crucial when it comes to understanding the power of God that is giving you the life you are living right now. What you have to understand is that you are plugged into God like an electronic device has to be plugged into a power source in order to work or function. If you were not plugged into the divine source of life, which is God's willpower, you could not live. All right. So now that I have briefly explained what God's omnipotence is, which is once again his willpower that empowers everything that exists, now it will be much easier for you to understand the beginning of this presentation and, more importantly, the principle behind our course motto. Because in order to understand our course motto, you must have an understanding of the power behind God's will. All right, so now let's get into the presentation. And I will start off by stating a powerful truth that speaks directly of God's will. And keep in mind, all of this information is related to our course motto and the principle behind it. Because like I said before, if you understand the knowledge of self within this motto, you can use it to become a better version of yourself in all aspects of your being. And there are two ways you can state this powerful truth. The first one is, listen, God's will is the power behind everything that exists. And without God's will, nothing exists. And the second way you can state this powerful truth is like this. Once again, listen, with God, there is everything. And without God, there is nothing. Ask yourself this question. What did God need to create his creation? What did he need to create the universe, to create the heavens, the earth, and all that's within it, including you and I? What did God need and use to create all this? That's right. He used his will. He used his will power. That is why God is called omnipotent, which, as I said before, means one power or all powerful. God's will is the power that gives you and I our willpower. God's will is the power that gives us life right now. As I am speaking and as you are sitting there, God's will is giving us life. So what should we do? We should be forever grateful and thankful for God's will, his omnipotence, which is the power behind our existence and everything else that exists. Now, I gave you this introduction to God's omnipotence, to God's willpower, so you can fully understand what the principle is behind our course motto. Because like I said before, if you truly understand our course motto and the meaning behind it, you can use this knowledge to help build a higher level of appreciation, thankfulness, and gratitude for God's will, which is the power behind all existence. This knowledge is so amazing that it can help you connect your willpower with its source, which is God's willpower. And the extreme importance of God's will and connecting with it is spoken about all throughout the Bible. And in this presentation, I'll give you just one example of a verse that shows you just how important it is to know God's will, and even more importantly, to do God's will. In the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 17, this is what it says about God's will. It says, "The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." All right, so now we can discuss our course motto. And keep in mind, when I first state this course motto, it may sound a little confusing at first. but the principle behind it makes complete sense and is absolutely undeniable once you understand it. And don't worry, you will definitely understand it by the end of this presentation. This principle behind our course motto is absolutely amazing because it will help you turn your gratefulness, thankfulness, and appreciation for life into a love for life. And once this happens, you can use this love of life that you have developed to do three specific things. First, you can use it to help create and set a powerful emotional frequency that will help you win your day every day. And second, you can use this newfound love for life to help you conquer lower level emotions and negative mindsets in the blink of an eye. And third, you can use this love for life to help you find solutions to any so-called problems, issues, and or situations that come your way. This works because the more you fully realize the principle behind our course motto, the more mentally and emotionally powerful you will become. How? Because once you actually apply this course principle in your life, it helps you begin to emotionally resonate or vibrate at a much higher frequency. And this higher frequency can be used to immediately change or transmute lower level emotional vibrations like sadness, shame, guilt, fear, anger, or worry into higher frequencies of happiness, of love, contentment, peace, and even serenity. That is why I'm introducing this knowledge to you and helping you understand it. So throughout this course, you can do what? Apply it in your daily life. Why? So you can reap the amazing benefits that come from it. All right. So as I said before, when I first say this principle, which is our course motto, it may sound a little confusing at first, but believe me, it makes a world of sense once you understand it and begin living it. All right. So this is the principle. Listen, and obviously you can see it on the slide in front of you. Here it is. You are in control, but you are not in control. What? Okay, I know that sounds like an oxymoron. I know that sounds like it makes no sense, but actually it does. Okay, so let me say it to you in more simple terms. Let me say it to you the way we're going to say it for the rest of this course. And once I say it like this, it will be much easier for you to understand. Okay, so this is how our course motto goes. You decide how you live your life. That's the control you have, but you don't give yourself life. That's the control you do not have. So you are in control, which represents the first part of the motto that says you decide how you live your life, but you are also not in control because you don't give yourself life. Life is given to you. And the only part of this life that you are in control of is what you decide to do with it. Okay, so for example, you decide how you move with your life. You decide how you feel and think with this life that you have, right? You decide what you eat, what you say. You decide what types of experience you have with this life that is given, right? So obviously, overall, you decide what you do with your life. But there is one thing you don't do. And this thing that you don't do is even more important than what you decide to do with your life. And what is that? You don't give yourself life. Life is given to you. So you might decide what you do with your life, but you don't give yourself the life that you are living. With that being said, now you have a better understanding of this principle when I say it. You are in control, but you are not in control. And in this course, we will refer to this principle in more simple terms by saying, you decide how you live your life, but you don't give yourself life. That is why I explained to you what God's omnipotence is, what his willpower is at the beginning of this presentation. So you can fully understand that you don't give yourself life. It is God that gives you life. It is God's will that is the power behind the life you are living right now. And the more you understand that life is given to you every second of every day, the more appreciation, gratitude, and thankfulness you will have for this life. And if you continue to focus on this fact that life is given to you, your gratitude for life will turn into a love for life and an even deeper love for God who gives it to you. That is why our course motto is so important. And if you're still a little confused, that's okay. By the end of this presentation, you will completely understand our course motto and the powerful principle of growing your gratitude that's behind it. And before we continue, I will say this motto one more time because this principle is very important for those who understand it. And remember, repetition builds understanding and comprehension. That is why at the beginning of most our lectures, of most of our presentations and other videos you will watch, I will start by reminding you of this fundamental course motto. So here it goes once more. You decide how you live your life, but you don't give yourself life, which means you are in control of what you decide to do with your life, but you don't give yourself the life you are living. God is giving you this life right now. Think about it. Are you living? Are you alive? Yes, of course you are, because God is giving you this life right now as I speak. Understanding this amazing principle is important because it helps you build and grow emotions of thankfulness, emotions of appreciation, and emotions of gratitude for life. And why is it important to build and grow these emotions? Well, because emotions are what? Energy in motions. Emotions are frequencies and vibrations, and the emotional frequency and vibrations of gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation, if cultivated, can help you transmute or change any negative emotional thought or feeling into a positive one. And like I said before, if you continually build and grow the emotions of thankfulness, gratitude, and appreciation for life, they will eventually develop into a powerful love for life. All right. So let's dive a little deeper into the second part of our course motto, the part that says, you don't give yourself life. Now, there are numerous amazing things that happen within you and around you that keep you alive. And if these things didn't happen, you could not survive, live, or exist. These are things you have no control over, things that happen without your command or consent. But like I said, if these things didn't happen, you could not live. You could not even exist. So let's point out some of these things you don't control, some of these vital life-sustaining things that happen without your consent or command, but without which you could not live. For example, you don't make the sun shine, but without the sun shining, you could not exist. This is a life-sustaining action you don't control or command to happen, but without which you could not live, which means that it is definitely something that you should be thankful for and not just take for granted. Here is another example. You don't make your heart beat or command your internal organs like your kidney or liver to function. You don't have to sit there and tell your heart to beat or your liver and kidney to function. But if these organs were not functioning, you could not survive. You could not live. And once again, this is another example of something to be thankful for, something to grow your gratitude because you don't make these things happen, but yet they still happen. They still function. And another example of something you don't control, but without which you definitely cannot exist, is the fact that you don't control the 7 octillion living atoms that your body is made of. Now that's a 7 with 27 zeros behind it. And that's approximately how many atoms your body is made of. But without these atoms and the light, energy, and magnetism they produce, you could not live. And you obviously don't have to command these atoms to function. They function automatically. You don't command any of these amazing and extraordinary things to happen. But without all these functions happening automatically, once again, you could not live. And as I explained at the beginning of this presentation, it is God's will that empowers these things to happen so you can live. That is why the second part of our course motto is you don't give yourself life, because obviously you don't. It's the will of God, God's willpower, that gives you life. And what is absolutely crazy, but at the same time unfortunate, is that people take these things for granted when they should be thankful, appreciative, and grateful for them. So now you have a fuller understanding and comprehension of what our course motto means. You are in control, but you are not in control. You decide how you live your life, but you don't give yourself life. You are in control of what you decide to do with your life, but you don't give yourself the life you are using to live. And this is where growing your gratitude comes into play. Growing your gratitude is the process of building emotional resilience and empowerment that will last you a lifetime. If you begin to build gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation for these vital functions that happen without your consent or command, this same gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation will eventually develop into a love for life. And then it will become very difficult for anything to steal your shine, to lower your vibration, or to rock your boat because you're vibrating at a high level emotional frequency that you have created. This is what we call forced optimism, and it builds positive neuroplasticity within your brain, so it becomes easier for you to create and sustain high level emotional frequencies. And if you continually repeat this thought process of creating positively enforced neural pathways in your brain, it will help you begin to automatically conquer lower level negative emotions and unnecessary stress without much effort at all. And how will you be able to conquer these lower level negative emotions and stress without much effort? Because you are already vibrating at a high level emotional frequency. That is why one of the most powerful things you can do when you wake up in the morning is to set your mind on things you are grateful for. And to do this, all you have to do is either think of things that make you happy, or think of things that you are thankful and appreciative for, or even think of things that you love or have a positive affection for. And as you are thinking of these things, as you are holding your thought on these things, what will happen? They will create positive emotions, a positive frequency. And then all you have to do is simply hold on to these positive emotions and positive frequencies that they create. And what will happen? They will become your frequency, and you will begin to vibrate with these positive, powerful emotional frequencies all day. This is what helps you set the correct mental and emotional frequency for your day. This is how you win your day at the very beginning of your day. And in this course, this process is called growing your gratitude. And you will perform this process of growing your gratitude by setting your emotional frequency every morning. And what's great about this process is that it only takes 3 to 5 minutes to perform, to actually set your mental and emotional frequency. If you take this 3 to 5 minute grow your gratitude process seriously and follow the simple protocol given, it will definitely help you set a positively powerful emotional frequency that will carry you for the rest of your day, that will help you conquer your day. This is how you win the first 5 minutes of your day so you can win your entire day. And as you follow this protocol and perform this simple but powerful emotional exercise every morning, eventually, through the power of repetition, you will be able to set your emotional frequency in seconds as opposed to minutes. And setting a high level emotional frequency is crucial because as you begin to interact with people and deal with situations, issues, and so called problems, you will be much more equipped to handle them because you are already vibrating at a higher emotional frequency. So any lower level emotional frequencies that you are faced with won't conquer you. You will conquer them. And you will also have the compassion and patience necessary to ensure that you're not crushing the people that come to you with their negativity or with their lower level frequencies. Plus, at the same time, this positive high level frequency you have set will help you find solutions to any so-called issues or situations or problems that present themselves to you. But if you're on an emotional roller coaster and you have no control over your emotional or mental frequency, then everybody who is vibrating on a lower level frequency will be able to affect you. And it will be much harder for you to find solutions to problems or even find resolutions to conflicts. And for this Self Mastery 360 course, I have created a simple worksheet that will help you set your emotional frequency every morning. It is very simple to follow and only requires 3 to 5 minutes of your time. But believe me, this 3 to 5 minutes in the morning is crucial if you want to win your entire day. I have also provided written directions on exactly how to fill out this worksheet and a short video that guides you through this simple process. This video is called the GYG, or the Grow Your Gratitude Frequency Creator. And as a matter of fact, this is the next video that you are required to watch within this course. What it does is it provides step-by-step directions and shows you exactly how to set your emotional frequency every morning. But before you get to that next video, Let's finish this video so you have a complete understanding of our course motto and the importance of actually growing your gratitude. Remember, you set your own mental and emotional dial. Okay, so what our Self Mastery 360 course model actually does is help you strengthen the process of growing your gratitude. Constantly reminding yourself that you decide how you live your life, but you don't give yourself life, reaffirms that life is a gift that is given by God, and that we should be thankful for this gift of life and God's will that is giving it to us. That is why we briefly discuss our course motto at the beginning of every lecture or presentation. Why? So we can continually and constantly grow our gratitude for life until it becomes a love for life. Then we can use this love for life to conquer any so-called problems, issues, or situations that life brings our way. This is how you become emotionally empowered and build emotional resilience. And this is very important because positive emotions heal you and negative emotions kill you. Positive emotions activate your relaxation response, and negative emotions activate your stress response. And this course was designed to help you become mentally and emotionally stronger, not just physically. I want you to be the best version of yourself in every aspect of your being. That is why this course is called Self Mastery 360, because it is about mastering every aspect of your being, your complete being, from physical all the way to spiritual. All right. So now you have a better understanding and comprehension of God's all-powerful will that gives us life, of our course motto, and of the Grow Your Gratitude exercise you will be performing in the morning throughout the majority of this course. I encourage you to watch this video as many times as you need to. Why? In order to make sure that you fully understand the course motto and how it will help you grow your gratitude. And don't forget, you are in control, but you are not in control. You decide how you live your life, but you don't give yourself life. You are in control of what you decide to do with your life, but you don't give yourself the life you are using to live. So be thankful, be appreciative, and have gratitude for the life that is given to you. All right, be you two full people. Much love, and I'll see you in the next video.